retired, that part of it was put to bed in my mind in a very simple sort of direct. There was a lot of complications around it. It's certainly tormented inside. And as you guys saw, that night. But I think that part of it has stayed in a simply.
It seemed like that's
away.
what the case was when you were talking that night. Is you were done with football. There were reasons for it, but you were sort of done with football because of all that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the case. And again, I think to go back to Zach's previous question, I certainly realized I still love this game, and I want to have it integrated in my life. It's got to be different.
Guys played to their 40.
I played with guys who played to their 40. I have a lot more respect for Matt Hasselbeck. Not that I didn't respect Matt before. Week at Palo Alto High School this year and made as many games as I could. And we've had some off-season meetings and stuff. And I think really at the heart of it, Zach, is I think part of me realized at some point in my life that I needed to reintegrate football in a way enough because I loved the game still and I enjoyed it and I wanted.
When did you figure that out?
Oh, a couple years after retiring. I'm not sure there was an epiphany, but I certainly knew I wanted to go back and when going back to grad school, I wanted to have a different academic experience but I realized I think I knew enough that I was interested in sports and high school sports to know that education felt like a master's in education felt relevant to that. And I just had fun coaching high school football. Football gave me a lot. Most importantly, again, the relationships and the experiences with people that I loved, like Chuck. I think part of me feels, and I don't mean this in a cheesy way, but part of me feels like, it's my turn to give back into this game, and this is what feels right at this moment for us, and works with family and life and me, etc. I have not met Anthony in person. We have texted and stuff, and just paths haven't been able to cross. Like this weekend, it's just he's not here, and it's just the way it is. And I know we'll get to meet at some point. And I do hesitate with advice. He's certainly not a kid. That guy's out there playing quarterback in the NFL, and that's hard. It's really hard. And I think he has the approach. I think he's got the support system to be a real success in this league and a real dynamic player that Colts fans can be proud of and fans around the country to be proud of. So I'm excited to watch where this thing goes and see how it is. I do. I feel you mentioned I am a part of the fabric of the sports story in this city. I certainly feel like Indianapolis is a massive part of the fabric of who I am and where life has gone and the highs and the lows and everything in between. It feels very real. And so I certainly feel the love in a sense from the city, and I hope people know it's reciprocal. Part of me when Chuck texted and I can make it back and we talked on the phone, it's I'd love to come. I was like, I got to go on YouTube and look up old highlights of 2012. That was a long time ago, and so that was a great conduit to thinking about different memories and again how funny I got to come to a place that had really good football for a long time, and what Peyton and the crew, the bar they set was amazing. I certainly wanted to continue it. And I was just talking to Adam back there. It's like I walked into a locker room with Adam Vinatieri, Reggie Wayne, Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis as the four leaders. That's a dream. I loved football growing up. I watched those guys. I always tell Adam I was a 7-year-old and went to Amsterdam and watched them kick field goals for the NFL Europe in the old Olympic Stadium. And I watched in middle school. I watched Adam kick field goals in the Super Bowl in Houston, Texas. So a lot of good memories. And again, they generally come up when I'm on the phone with TY or talking to Anthony or get to hang out with Jack Doyle. Jack and I were hanging out earlier today. And after coaching a year of high school football, I realized I really don't know how to teach blocking or tackling or anything that is involves some physicality games. So Jack, can you come over and teach me how to block? So we had a good blocking session. I'm thinking about that, stewing over it right
You
now.
stayed low.
My life in a positive way. When I do think about my rookie year here and T.Y.'s rookie year and our rookie years here and Chuck's rookie year as a head coach and what he went through, I think I've said this before. While I was in it, I certainly don't think I understood the gravity of the situation. And it's certainly with time a way that you realize, whoa, how special that year was in many ways. Most importantly, that Chuck made it back. And I think while playing that year, while it is cliche, I do think you have tunnel vision. You sort of have to step on a field and go play quarterback, go do whatever. And again, with time, the blinders certainly widen and you have a different perspective. And just to see how his legacy in this way continues in the city, and Simon Cancer Center and IU and what he's done. And I remember being at the first one, when we were all much younger and had much worse facial hair. So it's fun to support, fun to give back, just like Chuck's giving back to this community.
You've been back a number of different times, not in so much of a...
I know we were not perfect. I know I was not perfect. Shoot, all of us wish we'd had multiple Super Bowls and done things and sort of vanquished some of those enemies that we didn't quite ever get to. But I could probably speak for all the other guys, and I know I could speak for myself that again it wasn't perfect, but we tried our best. We tried our hardest, and I hope we gave folks something to cheer about and something to be proud of, and I do get the sense that we were. And yeah, again, it's always happy to be in there. There was the month of May. There's nothing like the month of May in Indianapolis. And that's not like just a political line. That's real. Like this place is dope in May. The weather changes. I'll tell you back. Coming on April, it's like, is it gonna be sunny? Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it raining? What's it gonna be? It's like you don't like the weather. Wait 15 minutes. It's gonna change. I forget about that. From Indiana. I love the month of May. I mean, we still have our 500 tickets and the Brickyard tickets and the Grand Prix. We're not going to make it this year. It's a busy year. It's an Olympic year in Nicole's Torque. So there's a lot going on. But we won't. We still hold on to our tickets. Allison Millington over at the Speedway has been very close to our family, and I think they, I'm out there promoting the Indy 500 for anybody who hasn't been to Indianapolis, and come to this city. If you doubt it, come in that month, have a good time. I've been to a lot of sporting events. I had the privilege to grow up going to a lot of sporting events. As I've gotten older, I've played in some. I've gotten to go to other big ones. There's nothing that compares, to the lead up and the start of the Indy 500.
Does your oldest know